Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Daniel, aka Daniela, and I'm coming to you guys again. This time, I'm going to be talking about a couple things. I'm going to be showing you guys a couple things and talking about them. Um, the first video is with Sheryl Underwood, sorry, and she kind of goes off um, on her other hosts talking about racism here in America and the stuff that happens to black, just the hypocrisy here in America. And I just wanted to show you guys that video and talk a little bit about it. So anyways, here we go.
Do you think it'll take to stop racial profiling?
Well, I mean, I wish any of us could answer that question, right? This is like a new low to me. It's so disheartening that he didn't have a weapon, he didn't have any drugs, he didn't have any behavior that was alarming, his arms were up. I don't understand. There was like practically 7 police officers there or something. Why this officer could have interpreted this as a threat is so beyond me.
Like Tariq Nasheed says, they are race soldiers. That's what they are. They are race soldiers. A lot of them aren't here to police and do any good for the black community. A lot of them are in there to protect white people and to kill non-white people. A lot of them are race soldiers, and we have to look at it this way because, like she said, none of this stuff make any sense why they would be shooting and killing these people who are unarmed, who are not aggressive. It doesn't make any sense at all. If we were talking about normal people, if we were talking about police officers who really cared about people, black people. So we have to now look at it from a different perspective. Okay, if this guy killed this person who wasn't aggressive, who didn't have any weapons, who wasn't trying to cause any type of bodily harm towards this officer, this guy must have some alternative motives. Let's look into this guy being a racist. A lot of white people don't want to address that. And this is the one thing I want to say, is that we have to stop trying to convince white people about their racism. We need to stop that because they know it. They know that there are a bunch of racist white people out here. And quite frankly, most white people out here are racist. Just because they don't show it, don't mean anything. There was an article recently where this black girl, I can't remember what university it was. I believe it was a university somewhere in the Midwest or somewhere in the South. I can't remember, but there was this black girl who was locked out her dorm room. She had forgot her phone. Her 3 white dorm mates, they took her phone and they went to Snapchat and they said, "We locked this nigger out," or "We locked the black girl out, the black bitch out," or something like that. They said something disgusting like that. And these are the same white people who sat there in front of her face and act like they were totally cool and stuff like that. I work around white people every day. Not every day. 5 days out of the week, I work with white people. Most of the people I work with are white. I don't make videos like this because I see racism from them, because most of the people I work with, there's no hint of racism, but I'm smart enough to know that there is racism there. I'm sure when I'm done working with these white people, they probably say all types of things, racist things about me. I don't care. As long as they don't, until they bring it out, then I confront them about it. But I know that's in their nature, to be racist and to be fucked up like that. But I'm aware. I know how these people are. And I don't sit there and I don't trick myself into thinking that, oh, just because these guys weren't racist in my face, that they're not racist at all. Most white people are racist, and let me say this. The reason why I say this is because most of them don't care to hear about our problems. Most of them don't. They'll sit there and pretend like they're listening, but most of them don't even want to hear it. If you listen to these stories of black women marrying white men, a lot of them don't like hearing issues going on in the black community. They just don't care. They tell their wives to stop talking about it. If you listen to these testimonials of these black women who get with these white guys, you hear it all the time. They don't care. Those are people who I call closet racist because they're not upfront about it. You know, they're quiet about it because they get benefits from not being upfront about it. They're the smart racists. Those are the most dangerous ones. Those are the ones you really want to watch out from. You know, and I be telling sisters this all the time. People like that, those guys that you married are like that. Now, if you have a white guy who's sitting down with you and talking about it and really care about the black community, hey, you got you a good white dude. But I'll tell you, that's rare. That's very rare. Majority of white guys who are with black women don't care to hear the shit at all because it's not their problem. And they're only using that black woman for their means. That black woman is a means to their end. And that's exactly what it is. But like I said, most white people, they don't care to hear our problems at all. So we need to stop trying to explain this to them. Most white people don't care. They understand it. It's not that they don't get it. They do get it. They just don't care because it's not their problem. And if you are that type of white person to where you don't want to stop racism, you are part of the problem. You are perpetuating racism by not stopping it. It's the same thing with bullying. If you sit there and watch somebody get bullied, you are part of the problem. If you do not stop it, you are part of the problem. It's just like, you know, when police hold their friends accountable. You know, even if you're riding, say if your friend commits a crime, and you're riding in the car with that person, oblivious to everything that had happened that led up to that incident, if your friend gets killed while committing the crime, while you're in the car, even if you knew nothing about it, this is what's the complete bullshit though. Even if you knew nothing about it, they still hold you accountable for what happened to your friend because you did not stop it, or you did not try to prevent it, even if you had a little bit of knowledge beforehand too. So, anyways, it's the same thing with racism with these white people out here. You know, a lot of them don't care to prevent it. So they are part of the problem. A lot of them are closet racist. They want the shit to happen. They like the shit happening. They love seeing unarmed, innocent black men being killed and women being killed. They love that shit. So they're part of the problem. And if you're with a white man or a white woman who doesn't care about the issues that are going on in the African American community, they are racist. And you are part of the problem by being with them. Because if you stay with them after knowing that, you're part of the problem. You don't care about your people. You're selfish. But anyways, let's go back to the video. It's going to be a pretty long video. My video I'm talking about.
I mean, I don't know if
Maybe. See, that's the shit that white people love doing. Maybe we should do this. Let me turn up the volume. No, this is what we need to do. We need to do certain type of investigations. That's what we need to do.
too often there is paid leave. I don't know if it needs to be, prosecuting when someone uses such poor judgment like this. I mean,
You don't know. Yes. We should be... that shit kills me. We don't know if we should be prosecuting it. Yes, we should. To the fullest extent of the law. We should be prosecuting this. What these cops are doing, using their poor judgment. Yeah, right. Poor judgment, my ass. When people are being shot on the ground with their hands up, that has nothing to do with poor judgment. I can understand if it was a very intense situation to where there's a lot of shit going on. You done chase somebody. There's maybe some shooting going on. But there's none of that. Like the guy who was shot on the ground with the autistic guy. That was probably one of the most calm police situations I've ever seen in my life. With guns being drawn. And guy sitting there laying on the ground with his hands up. His patient is sitting right there, I think, beside him. And the cop just, pow, shoots him. Could have killed him. Didn't kill him, but could have killed him. And you call that poor judgment? Hell no, that's not poor judgment. That was the guy sat there and said, why did you shoot me? And the cop responded and said, I don't know. That's not poor judgment. You don't get that amount of time and make poor judgment calls off of having about sitting there for 5 minutes with a guy not being aggressive with no weapons, and you gonna sit there and shoot him and you call that bad judgment? No, I call that intentional. That shit was fucking intentional. There's no way you can get around that. We need to be executing the law to the fullest extent on cops who are killing unarmed people. I don't give a fuck what race they are. If you kill an unarmed, unaggressive person, they need to execute the law to the fullest extent and treat that fucking cop as a criminal. Because if I were to shoot somebody, or if most civilians were to shoot somebody with their, who is unarmed, who is not causing any harm to somebody out in the streets, if I was to perform a citizen arrest on somebody who I suspected of doing a crime, and I had no proof, because most of the times when cops pull up to a scene, because something was reported, they have no proof that that crime has been committed. That's why they charge you with the crime, and then you go to court to be proving innocent or guilty. So they don't have any real evidence most of the times when cops pull up. When most of these shootings happen, they didn't have any evidence of a crime really being committed. So they jump out the car and they execute people, like the Philando Castile thing. I forget why they got pulled over, but this man told the cop that he was reaching for his license and insurance, stuff like that. The cop laid his ass out. Why? You call that poor judgment? I want to know why somebody is out there policing a community. Someone who has a fucking hair trigger gun like that, got a fucking itchy finger. A cop that's so fucking scared of a man pulling out his wallet. Why is that cop out there in the first place? You go through too much fucking training to be that damn scared. How often are cops shot and killed by black men? Or black women? Not often at all. Cops are more likely, way more likely to be shot and killed by a white person than they are a black person. Yet, they fear us black people. For what reason? Because it's not statistics wise, because we don't kill cops nowhere near as much as white people do. But we all know why. It's racism. And I hate when people sit here and play stupid, like, maybe we should do this, or maybe we should investigate that. No, we should be doing this because we have a fucking problem. There is a fucking problem going on. There is no maybe about it, because we have, years of this shit happening. Decades of this shit happening. Shit, we can go back centuries. Well, not centuries. But we can go back hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. This shit has been happening over and over and over again. So there's no maybe to it. Especially all the shootings, all the unarmed shootings that has happened in the past couple years. It's really crazy. It really is. These cops should be treated just like the guy down in, I can't remember where it was, but about a month and a half ago, there was a kid who was shot coming from his friend's party. And this one of the black guy's neighbors who threw the party, the white guy came out. He, I guess the music was loud or whatever. He came out and he took his gun and he took the liberty upon himself to shoot one of the young black kids out there. Killed him. That white guy is being prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Why are cops being held to that same standard? I swear, it reminds me of the British. It reminds me exactly of the British when they came over here, and the soldiers were allowed to do whatever they want. They were allowed to come in people's homes. They were allowed to basically steal from the colonists. This same situation reminds me of that era. These cops are allowed to run around and do whatever, and then they get slaps on the fucking wrist. They get paid leave. They get all this bullshit. It makes me fucking sick. Let me tell you, none of this shit surprises me. It just disgusts me.
It's the only thing I can
I think there
You can tell she's not feeling
are two
it.
things to think about, which is, first of all, as you said, he was complying. He was tasered. You can't tell from these videos, but what it seems like, and this is allegedly, is that he was actually shot when he was already on the ground, which is really alarming. We also remember a recent case, and I don't have the names, I think it was in Florida, of a guy who was a therapist working with a guy with autism.
Yes.
He's on
Yes.
the ground, on his
Yes.
back with his arms
Yes.
raised,
Yes.
and they shoot him anyway.
Yes.
And when he asked the cop, why'd you shoot me, the cop said, I don't know.
Right.
So what we have is, look,
Well, what we should know is that that guy does not need to be working in any type of... He should not be doing any type of policing, anything where he's supposed to be protecting people's lives, because obviously he can't do that. Then when you ask him a very simple fucking question, he can't give you a clear answer. Why did you shoot me? This is very serious. What is this, a video fucking game? Is this a video game? You know, where you can just shoot people without any fucking repercussions? I mean, because a lot of these cops, I mean, they the way they act, it seems like this is a fucking video game. To where they just think motherfuckers are going to respawn or some shit. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It really is. You could have killed a man, and your answer to him when he asks you why you shot him is, I don't know. That's utterly ridiculous.
this is hard to talk about. This is hard stuff to talk about. But we have a legacy of racism in this country. And if we don't start calling it racism, then we can't fight it.
Now, see, that's what I'm talking about. This sister, she's a swirler. She's married to a white guy. And hopefully her white guy is, you know, a guy who actually cares about black people and stuff like that. But this sister, she's 100%, you know, get down with her own people. But I have to say, I have to, you know, give my, I have to tip my hat to her because, you know, she's up in white people's space. She's married to a white guy. You know, she's around her white co-host, minus, you know, the sister over there and the Asian to her left. But still, she's up in white space. I can tell you that I'm sure that like 90% of the audience are white. So yeah, but she, you know, she took the liberty to really, you know, talk about her concerns, you know, and being bold about it, not being shy about the shit neither, you know. So, you know, I like I said, I tip my hat to her.
Have to see what it is. Cops have to be.
Exactly, it's racism, you know. I'm glad she got to the point because these white people would have been dancing around that shit all day. Well, maybe we should do this. I don't know what to call it.
Trained differently. If this had been,
You don't have to train the police not to shoot white people. Why you got to train them not to shoot us?
but
Exactly. See, look at that. Look at that, natural. That's just beautiful. I mean, look at your sister. Yeah, she may be a little overweight, but she's a beautiful sister. She out here doing her thing. She cares about her people. She got her natural look on. We need more sisters like this. But she made a great point. Why do they have to train to shoot, not to shoot black people, but they already know how not to shoot white people? Why is this? You have to fucking train them to not shoot us. People who are less likely to shoot them versus the people who are part of their race. That makes no fucking sense at all. Until you put racism into it. Until you throw racism in it. Look at, she's like, oh my god, bet you are fired. It's like, oh man, with her being so controversial, I'm surprised she's been on this show that long because the Asian chick, her husband owns the show, and I think he owns CBS. I'm not sure, I can't remember, but he's a very rich guy, and basically she had women kicked off the show before, women that she don't like. So yeah, But yeah, I'm glad this sister, she is, she's putting her foot down. She's tired of the bullshit. She's calling it for what it is. And the other sister is too, but this sister, she's really on it. She's really on it.
I mean, I'm saying everything has to be confronted. Everything has to be confronted. Because when you see a...
See, and going back to this sister, like I said, she's a swirler. And swirling is nothing new. Just the name. The name is new, but the whole thing of getting with interracial men, it's nothing new at all. This existed for... Actually, it goes back to the 1600s. Don't believe me? Look up... I can never remember her name when I want to tell people, but Johnny Depp, he has a ancestor who is black. He actually has a black grandparent ancestor who was with a white man back in the 1600s. So we don't understand that races were allowed to mix back in the 1600s before they created a law. Elizabeth Key, that's his grandmother. She's a mulatto. But Elizabeth Key's mother was black. So after Elizabeth Key won her case, after that, race mixing became illegal. It became much harder to do, even though there was still race mixing going on and stuff like that. Sorry, I just woke up not too long ago, so yeah, I'm still a little hazy and stuff like that. But anyways, this sister, I'm glad that she's doing her little thing, because obviously she still cares about her people. Even with dating white men. See, that's what I understand. These sisters who date white men, like, kind of don't want to mention her name, but Crystalline Karazan, people like her, she says, marry white men and fuck your race. Marry white men or marry non-black men, fuck your race. I'm going to uplift you. I'm going to tell you that I'm uplifting you, but I'm really teaching you your extermination. But this sister right here, she cares about her people, even though she's married to a white man. Now, if you're like that, then you can get down with us. You know what I'm saying? We definitely have to keep our eye on your damn husband or your wife, if they're white. But, you are still part of us. You know what I'm saying? But once when you get into that Crystalline Karazan zone, oh, man, you can stay as far away from us as possible. But, people do convert because there are a lot of black women who do get with white men. Same thing with black men who get with white women who find out the hard way, that they shouldn't be fucking with these people, period. I believe that you should mess with white people as least as possible. As least as possible. I work around white people every day, 5 days out of the week. Well, every week, 5 days out of the week. I want to keep it at that. No more than that. I don't want to hang out with white people. I don't even want to talk to white people if I don't have to. Because I'd rather not deal with these fake people. They're fake to me. What I mean by that is that they will smile in your face and stab you in the back. Nope. I don't want to have anything to do with that at all. But anyways, so back to this video.
There was a high-speed chase recently in L.A. with a Caucasian woman. She went through several counties. She ran into cars. She ran up on the road. When they took her out of the car, they gently removed what looked like a cell phone and gently handcuffed her. If that had been a black man, he would have been face down on the pavement without 1 second of conversation. We have to change how we see each other. And we cannot do that until we say what it is, which is that racism and fear of black men specifically drives these shootings.
Exactly. But I won't really call it fear, though. I won't really call it fear. A lot of them know what they're doing. And then they try to play it all as if it were fear. Because most of the cases it's not fear. These cops know what the hell they're doing. I mean, how are you fearing for your life when you're shooting people who are running from you, who aren't running and hiding behind things? I mean, people who are running down the street with no weapons in their hand, and you shoot them in their back. How are you fearing for your life? Like that case down in South Carolina when the man ran down he got out the cop car. I mean, if the cop was really fearing for his life, he probably would have shot him when the guy was attempting to get out the car. But no, he shot the guy who was running about 1 mile per hour. I mean, because the brother was running slow as hell. The guy was older. He was running down a field. There was no objects in his way. It's not like the brother was hiding behind stuff trying to get something. No, he's running down a field, a wide field, and he shot this man in his back. Shot him in his back. That's not fear. You know exactly what the hell you're doing. I've seen so many fucking videos where people are running from cops who are white. They don't get shot and killed. They're not shot and killed. But when it's a black guy, oh, they're afraid for their lives. I have literally seen videos where white guys, white cops, see a guy, jump back into his car, get a gun. The cop tells him, put the gun away, put the gun away. The white guy pulled out the gun, had a shootout with the cop, killed the fucking cop. Because the cop was being too fucking lenient. But with a black person, all you have to do is just pull out your fucking wallet and you're met with bullets. It was like the other guy who was pulling for his insurance who, you know, luckily didn't die. But he reached for his insurance at the cop told him, oh my God. Sorry. Yeah, I just woke up. But anyways, the cop told him to get his license and insurance. So the guy went to the glove compartment. And the cop shot him. I think he shot him once or twice, I'm not sure. And the dude even told him, like, why did you shoot me? I was getting my insurance like you asked me. I mean, right after the cop asked him to get the insurance, he went and got his insurance, and then the cop shot him. You call that bad judgment? Because you can't be that fucking stupid. You can't be that fucking stupid. That's not bad judgment. That's intentional. And then when they don't kill a person, they sit there and say, oh, I don't know why I did it. I didn't mean to do it. I was fearing for my life. No, that's bullshit. That shit was fucking intentional. It just didn't go down as you planned. Because if he would have shot him once, and then shot him a couple times after that, noticing that he wasn't dead, then, oh man, that would definitely show some red flags, especially the white people. They can't dance around that shit at all. And it just kills me. Like I said, you can't convince these white people of anything, because, you know, even with Philando Castile and all these other white people, when you're like, I mean, all these white people who are shot in those situations, who have no records, who weren't being aggressive, they were doing as the cops asked them to do. When you bring this up to white people, they have no answer for that. Or they sit there and try to find reasons to demonize this man or to criminalize him. So it's obvious. Stop trying to convince these fucking white people. They don't care. 99% of them are fucking racist and they don't give a fuck. So stop trying to convince these fucking white people to see our point of view, because they're not going to see our point of view. There's only a handful of them who will. Who truly will. You know, there are some white people out there who would be against the shit, you know, and who may not even be racist, but they're rolling with their peeps on this. They're rolling with their people on this. So to me, they're just as bad as the people out here who are committing these crimes against humanity, because a lot of these crimes are crimes against humanity, period. You're shooting and killing people on the floor. I mean, it got so bad that even the president of the Philippines stepped in and said something about it. That's how bad it was. That he stepped in and said, hey, these are crimes against humanity. We need to do something about this. And then he got slammed by everybody. Charlemagne gave this dude Donkey of the Day. I'm not sure if he gave him Donkey of the Day for that, but it was around the same time that he made that speech. You know, a lot of these are human rights violations, period. And yet nothing's being done about this. The UN ain't doing shit about this. But if this were some Jewish people, oh my God. We already know where that would go and how that would be handled. But, you know, this is going to be another time in history we're going to look back and we're going to have even more motivation of doing the things we're going to do to these fucking white people. Because trust me, their time is coming. They're like a fucking pot of water that's boiling and about to overflow. That's exactly what's going on. That's how that's how society is in general. Period. is that it's boiling to the top and it's about to overflow and shit is about to go down. And I can tell you, it's gonna be fucking terrible for these white people. It's gonna be terrible. But yeah. Anyways, I mean, just you can't tell me that white people are not the most evil, wicked people on the face of this planet. I mean, this is in their nature to kill. Like I said in a video I made a long time ago, I'm not even sure if I even uploaded it, but I was talking about how white people are genetically mixed with demons, giants, because if you read the Bible, you learn that demons are actually the disembodied spirits of the giants that were killing and eating men. And in the Bible it talks about how these giants had a bloodlust, how they lived to kill and to cause pain and to do evil against others. These creatures sinned. I mean, these demons, these giants sinned against beasts, birds, everything, humans. They did everything that was wicked under the sun. And I believe that that's what the caveman DNA is. You know, because whites and Asians have this caveman DNA. If you look at history, whites and Asians have the most fucked up history ever. I mean, they have the most bloodiest fucking history ever. Over in China, you can read about, you know, incidents where kings, little Chinese emperors killed like thousands of fucking people for no fucking reason. Just slaughtered whole entire fucking, I mean, not just small villages, fucking small little kingdoms and shit. Killing their fucking workers, like with the Great Wall, they killed like thousands of workers. I'm not talking about with labor, I'm talking about like they killed their asses after they got done with the labor. Oh man, they had like death camps and all this other type shit. Same shit that was going down in Europe. And I believe the reason why they're like that is because they have this natural wickedness in them. Especially whites. Especially whites. And the only thing that I can, you know, go to is that caveman DNA, the Neanderthal DNA that they have in them. I believe that Neanderthal was nothing more than a variant of a giant. Because when you do more research, you find out that not all the giants were big. Some of them were the size of men, some of them were smaller. There was different types of variations of these creatures that were born of angel and men mixing together. They all weren't giants. They all didn't look human. So, anyways, you know, I kind of got a little deep on you guys right there, but yeah, you know, I read the Bible. You know, I really don't. I haven't talked about the Bible that much lately, but yeah, I totally believe in the Most High, the Bible, and everything out there. You know, because there's a lot of knowledge out there. You know, a lot of people try to say that the Bible is fake. Oh my God, you guys have no fucking clue. A lot of people who say that never read the Bible before. I can guarantee you that. And there's a lot of books out there that are yet to be found. That links up with the source material, which we call the King James version, the 1608, I think it is, King James version, which is like the most pure version of the King James Bible or any Bible. Period. It's the one that you can actually go back and it has roots to the Hebrew and the Greek, unlike the newer ones. But anyway, so going back to this, you know, white people are fucked up. They're wicked. It's in their genetics. And we need to stop trying to explain their wickedness to them. You know, it's just like a child. When a child fucks up and do something bad, they don't want to hear you telling them what they did wrong. They don't care. They just don't want to be yelled at. They just want to be innocent.
Have to change as a nation.
Look,
Fundamentally.
But I know we got to go to break. But first thing you got to do, you got to make it a hate crime. You got to make it. You got to put people in jail. When you
Exactly. Oh, sister, go strong, because you know they may try to throw you under the bus in a little bit, but you go ahead, sister. You do your thing, man. You know, don't be afraid to be a martyr. Don't be afraid to be that sacrifice for your community. Period, man. Because I give up my job in a heartbeat just to stand up for my people. You know what I'm saying? Do right by my people. And I believe if you do right by your people, you will get support. You know, you will get support. And that's what we need to do as a people. We need to do a better job at supporting our people. Like whenever our, like the police officer who, earlier this year who was talking about how, talking about these police shootings and stuff like that. It was a sister. A lot of us should have went to her aid, throwing in Kickstarters and stuff like that. There was another incident that happened earlier this year with a black man, and I was trying to find his information. I was trying to find his contacts and stuff like that to start a Kickstarter for him also, but I couldn't find any contacts for either of the people, But definitely, people should start supporting our people, especially when they lose their jobs. Support these people so that they can keep doing what they're doing, so that they can keep talking about the truth and not being afraid to do it. A lot of our people are afraid to talk about the truth simply because they don't have a security net there. All these white people, when they commit racist crimes against humanity, like what's his name? Not Dylan Roof, but the cop who shot Mike Brown. He had thousands of people support him, sending him donations and stuff like that. We need to be doing the same thing with our people, period. We buy all this shit. Most of us have PayPals. I know that a lot of us have PayPals. Almost every single last one of us have a debit card, credit card, stuff like that. We need to start donating money to people like this. And not even just when she's down. Even when she's working there, we should start a PayPal, for her and do things like that. And for people who are doing things like her, who are speaking the truth, we should be supporting them before they even fall from grace of these white people. So anyways, let's continue.
Shoot somebody under the color of authority. You need to lose your job, and you need to lose your livelihood, and you need to lose your freedom like every other American loses their freedom.
Exactly. Consequences.
That's right.
Consequences.
Need to be consequences, but remember, there are good police officers out there, and the ones that are not.
Exactly. There are good police officers out there, and those are the guys who I like. When they're actually out there trying to do their job and not have alternative motives. Don't get it wrong, I like cops. I like cops who do their jobs, because these people who are out here committing these crimes against humanity, those aren't cops. Those are double agents.
They need to go to jail. Yeah. They need to go to jail, and don't tell me this. We got to train. Y'all white. Y'all.
Exactly. Don't tell. Ain't nothing. It has nothing to do with training. Has nothing to do with training at all. That has been debunked so many times by military personnel and other cops. That's not training. It's all about alternative motives, and we all know it. White people want to sit there and ignore it, but yeah.
Drive all the time and don't nothing happen to y'all, and we black, and I'm afraid to drive my damn car, because if they don't know who I am, I could be shot. Until y'all feel that, this ain't never gonna stop. Until you all that are not black feel it and stand with us, this is not going to stop.
That's been a great point, but these white people don't care. Look at the faces. They don't care. But anyways, so to the next video. This one right here. Now this I think this happened over the past week in Pennsylvania. People try to say that the North. People have this misconception that the North is not racist. That is the farthest from the truth. After the KKK broke up in the mid 1900s, a lot of the KKK members actually moved up north. Why? Because there were more job opportunities. So yeah, I was debating this one guy who's Mexican. This happened about probably 6 months ago, and he was like, "Well, I know about racism because I live in the South." I'm like, dog. The KKK, the biggest racist organization that existed at one time in the United States, it was the biggest at one time. It still exists. To where they had hundreds of thousands of members all across the country. After they dispersed, a lot of them moved up north. So how you gonna tell me that the North is not racist when we have majority of the fucking ex-KKK members here? So racism, I don't give a fuck where you're at, what part of the country. There are racist whites everywhere around this country. It doesn't matter where you're from, you will experience racism at least one time in your life, whether you know it or not. Now this happened out in Pennsylvania, like I said. They were there to report on like fracking, which is blowing up, like they blow up mines and stuff like that to try to get oil and stuff like that. Shit it can be very detrimental against the environment because it can cause like earthquakes and all this other shit. We had an earthquake here in Ohio a couple years back because of fracking. So, yeah.
Lazy monkeys. Maybe the 10th one I've seen in my life, too. They all look the same to me.
So he must live in the backwoods if he only seen 10 black people in his whole entire life. But see, this is the thing. See, you know, he just proves the ignorance of, you know, racist white people. Is that they don't even have to be around black people to hate black people. You would think that it would be white people who are around black people constantly. Nope. You know, most of the white people who live around black people are cool for the most part. A lot of them can have hidden racism because there are whites who live around blacks their whole life, and then when they leave the hood, they fucking tell the truth how they feel about black people. It happens a lot. But anyway, so this guy, 10th black person he ever saw in his entire life. This guy looks like he's at least in his 30s. The 10th black person he's seen in his entire life. Barely had any interaction with black people, and yet he fucking hates black people. See, that's the power of racism. You don't even have to be around a black person to hate them. You just hate them because you hate them, because it's in your blood to hate. It's in their blood to hate us. It is. It is. People can try to deny it as much as they want, but that proves it right there. Most black people who hate white people because of the shit that they actually do to us. What do we do to white people? Really, what do we do to white people? What fucking crimes against humanity do we commit against white people? Because we never enslaved them. We never we never placed a system of racism on white people. You know, obstacles that would hinder or hold us back, or hinder them or hold them back. We never placed any type of system like that to them. We never had lynchings. You know, they like to try to compare the Black Panthers to the KKK. No, the KKK lynched. They terrorized. They were a terrorist organizations. The Black Panthers, they were a community organization that helped out blacks, even non-blacks. They were the first ones in the country, and basically, in the country to start a breakfast program for children. They had fundraisers. They did all this stuff. They policed the community, protecting blacks and other non-whites from racism, stuff like that. So yeah, they're not the same fucking thing. But like I said, we never lynched people on a Sunday simply because we wanted entertainment. I mean, they literally lynched black people for entertainment. Not a black person committed crime. No, they found a random black person and decided to lynch them. They even had it planned. They had it in their weekly schedule that Sunday after church, they were going to watch a lynching. That's how often they did it. It wasn't just one lynching in one fucking city. No, this happened all around the country. And there were actually multiple people lynched on the same day in the same fucking event. And same public event. So never have we did anything like that to fucking white people. So there's no reason for them to hate us the way they do. But we have all the reasons to hate them the way we fucking do. You know, so that just tells you that's in their genetics. They hate us because it's in their DNA to hate. I mean, look how they treat the fucking animals. I watched this video probably about 3 weeks ago where this man threw a javelin through this fucking bear, this black bear. He was super happy to do so. You know, he said that he's going to use all the meat and skins and stuff like that. I believe that he was. I believe him when he says that, because you could tell he's one of those guys who are one of those guys who get off on doing shit like that. You know, he's one of those little energy heads who are energized by doing dumb and stupid shit like that. And you know that he's one of those egotistical guys who will but just feel so fucking prideful for wearing like a bear skin, maybe making like a cape out of bear skin or something like that, so he can look like a fucking Viking or something. I'm sure he's one of those type of people who would love to wear something like that. So I'm sure that he's going to use all the meat and stuff, but there are a lot of people. What I was trying to say is that he's an adrenaline junkie. But anyways, there's a lot of white people who simply hunt for sport. That guy was hunting for sport. His intentions weren't to go out there and hunt, because a lot of them try to use the excuse is that, oh, I will use the pelt, I will use the meat, I will use the bones, I will use every bit of that bear. But most of the time, these guys go out there hunting for sport, simply to hunt, and yeah, they will use the stuff, but they don't go out there with the need to hunt. Most of these people have jobs, they have an income, they have food, stuff like that. But they go out there simply because they go out there for the thrill of the hunt. They don't go out there because they're starving and their family needs food. No, that's not why they go out there. They don't go out there for survival situations. This guy was nothing more than fucking adrenaline junkie. But my point is that white people love killing. It's in their fucking blood to kill. If you look at the Bible, Esau, the first, well, he wasn't the first albino, but the first, the progenitor of the white race. He loved bloody stew, sorry. He loved his meat bloody, and he loved hunting. Same as his damn descendants. But anyways, let me continue on this video. So he was calling this guy a monkey.
Have you had any kind of a job?
Okay, so from what I've gathered is that these guys are anti-fracking, and this guy is part of the company that's doing the fracking.
It's like this chimp right here. What'd you say? Yeah, chimp.
See, look, he's so bold because there's only one black guy there. But I can tell you this, he wasn't going to hood saying that. And this brother looks very frail too. Now, if it was me, a guy who stands about 6'3", he wouldn't have said shit to me like that. At all. He would choose his words very wisely, and he'd be very stupid to say the shit that he said to him, to me. He's a fucking coward.
Right here with a fucking mop on his head.
You better get out of here. You better get out of here.
I don't give a milking my tax dollars.
Milking his tax dollars, see. That's white people for you, man. They'll sit there and say the dumbest, most ignorant shit. How is he milking your tax dollars when this guy's paying taxes himself? That makes no fucking sense. He's not milking your tax dollars. What the hell are you talking about? This guy is... But see, that's how stupid and how ignorant fucking white people are, man. Oh, I mean, racist white people.
Well, it was necessary to
Which almost all of them are racist.
document what he was doing and what he was saying so that people could see that there are people out there like this. There's a whole underbelly of society who thinks this way.
Exactly. You know, I'm glad this brother ain't holding any punches about this situation.
But weren't emboldened enough to come out and say it.
Yeah, a lot of these racists are stupid as fuck, man. And why are you gonna do that in front of the camera knowing that your ass is gonna show up somewhere? If you don't show up on television, you're gonna show up on the internet and then the television. You just... The guy is just a fucking idiot. Most racists are idiots. Admit that's pretty funny, but you know, he make great fucking little monkey sounds. You know why? Because he's cave ape. He's a pigskin cave ape. I just think it's hilarious how, you know, they like to talk about us being monkeys, apes, and stuff like that, when they are actually closer related to apes than we are.
You ain't gonna get no job with the mop on your head. How about you cut that off?
Well, he's actually doing his job. And, you know, a lot of people like him will try to say, go out, get out of my country, get out, go back to Africa. And you guys already know how I feel about that. We have more legitimacy here than majority of white people. Don't believe me? I have a video that I posted a few months back talking about it and why. I don't really want to go into detail here just because this video has been long enough itself. But anyways, that's what I wanted to talk about today. You know, racism, it's not going anywhere, people. Doesn't matter what year it is. Why? Because it's just like, you know, expecting a disease to go away. You know, just because it's a year later or something like that. No. Cancer doesn't go away until it is treated. Cancer just doesn't go away on its own unless it is being treated. So it's the same thing with the motherfucking issue that we have here. The cancer to this world, I'm sorry, even if you're a good white person, the truth is that white people are a cancer to this world. Ever since whites came into power, this world has been under constant attack. Everywhere they go, they kill, they fucking murder. They killed the Native Americans. They killed the Aborigines of Australia. They killed the Africans, the indigenous Africans. I mean, there has been oh my God. There's been mass genocides over there. Everywhere they go, there's nothing but chaos and fucking destruction. You don't see any other race of people doing that. They like to try to sit here and say that black people are the most violent. Look at the situations that these white people have put black people in. They are nothing. These kids who are out here killing each other, selling drugs, stuff like that, they're nothing more than a product of their environment. But what about these rich white kids out here who are killing people just for the fun of it? Like those white kids in Russia, who are committing these crimes out here just for the hell of it. Yeah, you will find some black people doing that, but that's only because they're imitating white people. But majority of people who are doing shit like that and have no reason to commit crimes are fucking white people. I mean, these people are going around killing everybody. They've been slaughtering the people, and whether we want to face it or not, this whole thing in the Middle East is nothing more than a genocide thing. They support Israel, who wants to commit genocide against the Palestine people. So, you know, these people are homicidal maniacs, and they are the cancer of Earth. And the only way they're going to be dealt with, the only way they're going to go away is if they're dealt with, period. But hey, this is why I say that we should not marry unto white people. Sorry, we should not marry outside of our race at all. Because there's a good chance that when the person that you marry outside of a race does not have the best interest of our community in their hearts. Because black people, I've noticed this, black people who marry non-whites are all into, I noticed that black people, especially black women, and I'm not trying to throw sisters under the bus or anything like that, because I love my sisters, but I noticed that black women are like a different breed. Black women who date white guys are like a different breed, even against black men who date white women. And what I mean by that is that I notice that when black women marry non-black men, I notice that black women get very into that non-black guy's race, their culture and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of black women who marry Asian guys who start to dress like Asian women and stuff like that. It's very weird. It's like, well, I remember reading this article, like, well, it wasn't an article, it was like some blog post or forum post of this Asian guy who was like kind of frustrated because he married a black woman because he actually liked black women. And after marrying this, well, when they first started to, because this is way before they got married, they start dating, and he was always into black women. This was somewhere out in California. He was always into black women. A lot of Asian guys out there in California are into black women, but he had always been into black women, and she was completely like normal while they were dating, and while they were engaged, she was the way he met her. After they got married, she changed up. She started dressing, and she really started appropriating and really diving into Asian culture, so much so that she started to dress like an Asian woman, and she started to act like a traditional Asian woman. And he was very frustrated about it because he's like, well, I married this woman because I like the way she was. I like African American culture, and I liked her. And he was frustrated because she had completely changed. And he was like, well, if I wanted an Asian woman, I would have got with an Asian woman. So, to all these sisters out there who act white, because there is acting white. There is acting white. Or these women who act Asian because they go for an Asian guy, don't do it, because he married you because of who you are, not because of what you think he wants out of you, but simply because who you are. So anyways, but yeah, this whole swirling thing, it has to stop. Black men, stop getting with these white women. Stop getting with these non-black women. Black women, stop getting with these non-black men. It's not good for you. It's not good for your children, because when doing that, you're subjecting your children. You're automatically subjecting your kids to racism. Most of the time, they're going to get racism from their non-black family. They are. That's just how it's going to be. I've seen it with my siblings. There's thousands of cases and instances of this shit happening all around the country and around the world. So just save yourself the heartache. Save your kids the heartache. But this whole swirling thing, it has kind of gotten out of hand. They try to say that this whole swirling thing has increased a lot over the years. It has increased by like 50%. But we have to remember that less than 1% of our people date outside of our race. I think it's like less than 1%. It's like I can't remember what it is, but double that. So it's not even 1% yet of our people date outside of the race. It's not as much as people like to make it seem. I mean, shit, swirling has, like I said, it's been happening since the 1600s. It happened in the 90s. It happened in the 80s. It happened in the early 2000s. It's still happening. And when you really go out into public and look, you really don't see that many black women with black men. I mean, where I work close. I work in the like OSU area and stuff like that, downtown. And I do see interracial couples. I do see black women with white guys, but you don't see it that often. You really don't. And OSU has has the biggest campus in the United States, where you see all types of races. You see all types of mixed couples. You do see a lot of white men and Asian women together. Not as much as it was like years ago. I'd say like 5-10 years ago. Not as much as then. But you see way more educated black women. You see way more educated black women with black men than you see with any other race up there. You do see probably like, I would say probably 1 out of 50 couples up there, and I'm talking about black couples, where you see a black woman with a white guy. You will, and the same thing with a black guy with a white girl. You rarely see those. You will see those, but you rarely see them. So that mirrors this whole country. Just that campus right there mirrors this whole entire country. Like 1 out of, I would probably say it's less than even 1 out of 50. To be honest, it's probably like more like 1 out of 75 people, because most of the couples you see down there are black guys and black women. I mean, out of the black couples, you don't really see that many interracial couples between black and white people. You really don't. So it's not as big as they try to claim it to be. It really isn't. It really isn't. But anyways, that's all I have to say. This video is super, super long. This is probably one of the longest videos I've done. But anyways, talk to you guys later. Peace out. Shalom.